Oh, hi, hello, welcome to another RuPaul's Drag Race review. I'm trying something different. I've got a little white thing. I haven't got something to cover the whole background, but like I've got this. Today's episode that I'm talking about is the Snatch game. Now I'm quite behind because I'm literally posting my Gaze Anatomy review today, and the next episode comes out in 2 days. But because of my schedule, I'll often have to delay things. I feel like the longest I'll have to wait for a RuPaul's Drag Race review is about 2 weeks. Then again, my last Doctor Who review I did for Series 12 for the Timeless Children took like 2 or 3 weeks to come out. Okay, don't judge me. If I've got hiccups again for this video, I'm going to sue. So there was very little, what I would call preamble in this episode. Like, even the preview that's usually like 10 or 12 minutes was only 5 minutes for this episode. They just show you like them coming in from the previous episode and then them getting told it's the Snatch game. That's basically all we see in the preview, which was a bit odd. But so, you know, everyone's come back in from you know, the runway. They basically rehashed the Untucked conversation with Bitter Britta being like, oh, I didn't think you should have been the top, you should have been the bottom, and I should have been safe. Literally, it's just the argument from Untucked completely rehashed. I'm not sure why. I think it's because the producers are like, well, people, not everyone's seen Untucked. They come in the next day. Oh shit, here it starts. Oh, I was doing so well. They come in the next day. I don't think they have a Rue. She'd already had hers message, because they don't tend to on Snatch games, because it's obvious. They come in, Rue's like, oh, you've got Snatch game. And they're like, oh, whoa, crazy. And then we obviously get to see them all talking about their characters, and Rue comes around and is like, would this be good? Would this be good? Stay behind my ear, please. Jackie's talking about this challenge, and obviously, as they always do, as Jackie's someone who'd be good at this challenge, she's like, you should know this. You should know this is the longest challenge. And I say that sometimes, but I also have to consider you can prepare and still fail. You can improvise and do well. But if you're good at the challenge, like people like Jackie are, they're going to be like, oh, well, you should know this is coming. You have no excuse to be bad, even though some people don't do impersonations. I've also decided Jackie's starting to get on my nerves. My mum's always been iffy with Jackie, hasn't gelled, but Jackie's really starting to bother me. She seems lovely in real life, but she's just one of those queens that on the competition I'm not liking her, and I'll get more into that in Untucked, because I'm very much with Leslie Jones. Check out her live tweets if you don't. They all talk about how they're doing, I think most notably before Rue turns up, Aiden's like, I'm doing Patricia Quinn, and then Britta's like, here's that, because she couldn't let Aiden settle for 1 second. Also, who cares if you don't know who they are? Jinx won with Little Edie. Yeah, everyone's like, I don't know her. I'm worried. Okay. My neck is itchy. Rue comes around, and I think November pointed out, she's very dismissive of everyone. She tells Gigi not to do Sophia the robot, and Gigi, it is actually quite an iconic moment for me, which is like, I understand your concern. I do not share that concern. Gigi's like, I get why you're worried, but like, I'm confident, so I'm still doing it. She talks to Jackie. Oh, by the way, Vanjie's here. Completely forgot. I was really confused why Vanjie was here, and I guess it was because 1, Vanjie's personality. 2, we can't escape from Vanjie. She is the new Hullabaloo. She's the new Shangela. Like, Vanjie, you cannot escape from her. And I get that she was so bad in the Snatch game, it's meant to be a joke of what not to do, what not to do, what not to do. All Jackie's conversation is consumed by is Vanjie saying you're hot and confusing Julie Andrews for Julia Roberts. Crystal, RuPaul's like, do El DeBarge, and this is when the El DeBarge finally came too much, because she's not going to do El DeBarge. Crystal doesn't know who that is. But what it is I have a feeling that, not that Rue knew they'd get their license to it, but in like a regular season, they probably would have cut out all these references, but because they bought the rights to the song, the editors think they have to include every single El DeBarge reference, so they can use the song as much as possible. Because I think this is the only occasion I can remember where they got the rights to a song not to use in a challenge or a lip sync. They just got the rights to play that song in the background of a scene. Which I guess that's why they're doing it. I think I like it. I think I liked it at first because it's a bit of a joke, but I hope this doesn't. I don't know. Also, it's a theme of this season, I think, trying too hard to get catchphrases and like iconic things out of it, like El DeBarge and the fact that Dahlia Sin as a broccoli won't leave us alone. which is still funny. It is still hilarious. It shoots tons of everywhere, but I can see the producers going, Dahlia as a broccoli. When Dahlia as a broccoli, yeah, it's funny, but it's not iconic. It's not going to become a thing. Stop trying to make fetch happen, okay? Appropriate for this review, actually, which I didn't even realise when I said that. But it's not... Stop trying to make broccoli happen. It's not going to happen. Who else do they talk to? They don't talk to Alison. Definitely not. They talk to Heidi. They talk to Heidi saying, maybe you should do Phaedra from Real Housewives, because that's closer to you, and they weren't sure she could do a Leslie Jones, and she couldn't really do a Leslie Jones. But wasn't Phaedra the one that Kennedy did in All Stars 3? If it is, that didn't turn out very well. But then again, I think that might have just been because Kennedy was doing a bad impersonation of her. And I'm generally not a fan of repeat impersonations. There are so many people in the world. So many people. They don't have to be well known. Again, Jinx won as Little Edie. And you want to do repeat characters? So we get to the Snatch game. And I'll go top to bottom. So the first up in the hot seat, they call it, because it's the sort of the most pressure. You're the first person that is spoken to. And it's one of the most memorable seats. Honestly, the top left and the bottom left are the most memorable seats, generally. So it's, I think, a bit more pressure to actually do well, because you don't want to fuck up the two memorable seats. And it was Heidi in Closet as Leslie Jones. Now, it's very clear she made this decision. She might have been planning to do Leslie Jones, but considering how much of her shtick was based on something that had happened on episode 4, and the outfit was based on Leslie Jones' outfit from that episode, I genuinely don't know who she was going to do, but I think she was like, I like Leslie Jones, I got on well with her, she was funny, I'll do her. I don't think Heidi was... I think she might have wished to be Heidi, but I don't think Heidi was really like, oh yeah, I'm going to kill it with Leslie Jones. I think Heidi was trying to just like, I'll get by with Leslie Jones. Then we had... Give me uno momento. I remember the bottom row, because most of them were shit. Lisa Rinna. Jackie as Lisa Rinna. It was really funny. My mum knows who Lisa Rinna is. And she's also really into QVC, so she got the whole character. Now that I've seen pictures of her afterwards, I remember who she was. I have seen her before. And the joke was really funny. She always spoke for a while, but it was always quite funny. I liked that the sort of final escalation was Heidi was like, if you said that name one more time, don't talk about my husband, Harry Hamlin. I love Harry Hamlin. Harry Hamlin, love you. And Clash of the Titans. I thought it was good. It was really funny. And then we had... Who was this person? I can remember every single person except this slot. Oh, this is ridiculous. Oh, Jada. Okay, Jada was like in, I think of any of the people in this episode, Jada was in it the least, so that's why I forgot. Cardi B. Serviceable. Didn't look like her in the face, but I think Jada's face shape is very different. The sort of general face is very different to Cardi. So unless you're like an Alexis Stone who can do these amazing facial makeups, then I don't think that'd be working. But I think she got the character down. I like the outfit. I like the outfit and the wig. I thought it went. Like, again, I don't know if Jada thought she was going to be high for this, but I think Jada... I again think Jada was like, you know what? Impersonations isn't my thing. I can get by with Cardi B. I think the way she smiled was sort of the most... It showed that Jada did put effort into it. Jada didn't just go, I'm going to do Cardi B because she's easy, which I do think Heidi did a little bit. I think Heidi went a little bit easy. I think Jada put a lot of effort into this impersonation. Then we had Bernadette Peters by Jan. I'm not familiar with her. I am quite into musical theatre. Although I will say I'm like a basic musical theatre fan. I like all the modern ones. But I might have heard her sing before. And she was really fine. When she had her opening line about the clowns, I kind of already was like, okay, Jan's not going to be in the top here. You know, she'll be safe. Again, she'll be just safe. But she's not going to win this. Because, it's also because her opening... What's happening with my computer? Hang on. It's not that she wasn't funny. It's the fact that her opening sentence, it was just all like... And then at the very end of her opening sentence, or her opening sort of interaction with Rue, she then got a little bit of a laugh in. And I was like, this probably isn't a bad impersonation either. The voice, I feel like, was probably quite accurate. It seemed like she was putting effort into the voice. It just wasn't funny. I can't feel my left leg, but that'll be fine. Then we had I'm hopeless. Rolling on the river. Sorry, I'm thinking of Chandler's Tina from season 3. Oh, hello. Oh, Tina's now been done twice on Drag Race. Neither time successfully, unless I've forgotten a third. Yeah, it was pretty. I actually liked it. I liked the beginning bit, although it was definitely a Widow-inspired Tina. I'm not familiar with Ike. I know who he is, as in Tina, Ike and Tina. You know, Tina and Ike. It should be Tina and Ike because Tina Turner, but it just doesn't sound right. It's Ike and Tina. Ike and Tina. I didn't get the cake joke, but I still find it funny because it was like, cake. Do you want some cake? It was just funny that he pulled a cake out of nowhere. I don't know how accurate the look for Ike was because I don't know what Ike looks like, but the wig just, it felt like it was wrong, despite the fact I don't know what Ike looks like or what his signature look was. And I'm kind of sick of it's become a gimmick now. I'm going to do 2 characters for Snatch Game. You had Bob, Nina. I think they're the only 2 before this season, and then you had Widow. I mean, it worked out for Bob and Nina, but my problem is I feel like it then means you get a lot less of their performances, especially as there were 10 people in the Snatch Game. It wasn't a small Snatch Game. And then we had, I'm trying to get through it because 20 minutes, Jesus Christ. Gigi Good as Maria the robot, because Sophia is kind of weirdly, despite her being a US citizen, she's still a property. There's still a copyright to her name, so you can't call yourself Sophia the robot. Was fucking hilarious. It was genius, and it felt like there was no hesitation in what she was saying. There was one moment from Jackie where it wasn't like a noticeable she dropped out of character, but you could sort of hear a slight pause, and you could okay, she thinks she's taking this brief second to think what she's going to say. I think Gigi must have had loads of, because she's a robot, so what would have been smart is think, what references, USB port, these things, think about a mannerism, so that way when she's in it, she knows what to pull out, because she just seemed so confident. I like that when she wasn't doing, she was like, I can't do it as good as she did, but, I can't do it very well at all, actually. But the fact that her face was constantly moving, and everything she said was funny. What's up, bitch? She's my sister, bitch. Vagina. I think he meant vagina. I meant what I said. that was golden. When she shut down, the way she rebooted and her face was already smiling. And her final line, which is when Lisa Rinna was like, I've seen, I don't know, Brandy something do that, which was actually quite funny. When she went, why don't you mind your own fucking business? Because it was a robot saying all these things. You trying to control me? Oh, it was, there's something on my nose. It was all hilarious. It was really good. Then we had Patricia Quinn. That was it. I was going to say Quinley. I don't know who Quinley is. And Aiden was shit. I mean, first of all, she's English. Aiden has said that, she did, forgot to do the accent, and then halfway through was like, fuck, I can't just switch to British now. I can't be a Vanjie. And then just stuck with it. There was no jokes. It was the same shtick. It was, I've done a lot of drugs. I can't remember shit. I don't know where I am. I thought I was going to the hairdressers. Nothing to do with Magenta from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I think she did. I think November again. She looked too old. I don't know. I don't think Patricia Quinn is that old. Apparently, she just met Patricia at lunch. Then we had Jennifer Holliday, aka Britta Filter, because it was just, there's something in my line of sight. Oh, because it was just Britta Filter. It wasn't funny. It wasn't funny. Moving on. Poppy. I don't know who Poppy is. And I guess I got what she was going for. It was definitely an unsuccessful Gigi Good, basically. Apparently there's actually a really dark past as to why she was called Poppy. It was like some weird contract with, it was like, was it her boyfriend or something? It was really weird. So I don't know if Crystal knew about the backstory, but knowing it now, it just makes the impersonation uncomfortable. Because I'm like, oh god, this poor person. Apparently in real life they've kind of got out of it now. They're sort of, I think they're dropping the Poppy thing because that was never really what they wanted to do. Then we move on down to Alison, who was funny as Katharine Hepburn. Hepburn, yeah. Who I don't think has ever been done before. And it was it was an older version rather than the version of her that's been in the films. I do love being in the movies. What the hell was that? It felt like a spider was on my nose. Jeez, I need help. My only issue is her two jokes of writing scribbles and saying it was the answer that the celebrity said were funny, but the second time it was the same joke. And I feel like it got a lot of laughter. Yes, it was funny, but there's a lot about you can't do the same joke. There has to be escalation. The second time there was no escalation. It was the exact same joke. So I'm not sure how I felt about that. And then in the workroom, there was Gigi talked very naturally. Actually, again, something I'll give this season is the conversations feel natural. So I'm not sure if the producers are being a bit more subtle with their prompts, or if the producers are actually being a bit more sort of laid back and going, talk about this when you want to. I don't know, but it just feels more natural. Gigi talks about being gender fluid, which I think is a first for someone on the competition saying, I identify as gender fluid, or I think anyone saying they identifies anything other than the binary. I know there are contestants who are and didn't say, or after the show sort of went on a discovery with their gender. But I think this is the first time on the show it's been like, I am gender fluid. And it was just a cute story as well, talking about her upbringing and talking about how she had, a gay uncle or something. So she was brought up to be really accepting. My godfather is bisexual, but he's highly camp. So that's one of the reasons when I grew up, I never really saw it as being wrong, because I was like, Scott's a laugh. His name was Scott. Scott's a fucking laugh, and he's camp as you like. And he owned a pub, and because I was a friend of the pub, I could drink as many J2As as I wanted. So, note, you can buy my love quite easily. So the runway, the theme is Frozen, the Broadway musical, which I guess because it's not kid friendly enough to be the actual animated film, but I think they did still time it to coincide with the sequel, because it's weird that Frozen 2 came out only a few months ago still, and they suddenly do a Drag Race episode sponsored by Frozen, the Broadway musical. So they're clever there, although not as clever as they thought, because right now Broadway's not open. So the guest judges were the Mean Girls stars. I can't remember their real names. Sorry, but the fabulous men out of Mean Girls, both gay, which I think is actually a bit different. I don't know. I like that. I like having members of the LGBTQ+ community. It just feels right. Okay, for the first time, I didn't like Rue's dress. I didn't mind the top half, but I didn't love it. I didn't like the material, the way it looked on her, especially when she moved. Loved the wig, though. Adored the wig. Probably her best wig of the season when it comes to how it's been applied and how seamless and flawless it looks. So, the runway theme, as I've just said, but I'm going to say again for dramatic effect, is Frozen, Broadway musical. They even put those frozen trees out. So I was like, whoa, this really is this isn't just like can we use you for a runway theme? It's a proper moment. And then the pit stop was sponsored by Frozen, the Broadway musical. I think every other episode of the pit stop has been brought to you by Bubbly Sparkling Water. Although Bubbly Sparkling Water was also in Untucked. So Bubbly Sparkling Water must be paying a lot of money. Yeah, and so it was unclear what they were given as the theme. Whether they were given Frozen the Broadway musical, or if they were given the word Frozen. They're usually not given a word either, they're probably given some elaboration. So they might have been given Frozen can be inspired by the musical. I don't know. I don't know how far ahead this sponsorship deal was established. So I'm just going to do the theme of ice because there's no way of knowing if they were specifically given the Frozen musical. So, first stop, not on the actual runway, but alphabetically, Aiden Zane. Now, again, the blue lighting of the runway strikes, because in other photos it looked a lot more grey than it did on the runway, where it looked a lot more bluish. I prefer the bluiness of it. I don't know, maybe in other pictures it was just other weird lighting. Wasn't bad. I think this is something I would wear if I was a drag queen, like early days. I could get a cheap sort of dress out of this fabric, or I just buy that fabric and get someone I know who can sew and be like, you make me a really simple dress. There's no real top to it. It's like a little slit, whatever. There's fur around it. There's gloves. There's a big blonde wig that she's worn before. And she had some campy accessories. It was fine. Her makeup looked beautiful in blue, though. She should really do blue makeup more often. Honestly, it feels like her makeup is made for blue, so I hope she takes that and runs with it. It was fine. It was a bit underwhelming. Then next we had Britta. Now, I did immediately go, oh, this is similar to Alexis Michelle's promo dress from season 9. Same designer, so it's not a copy, it's like the same designer. Someone put it brilliantly. Who was it? I think it was Novimpia again. Just watched their podcast. It would be like from the same collection, for Project Runway, Making the Cut, or just general fashion fans. It'd be from the same collection, but it's not the same outfit. My only major issue with it is the blue to orange, both beautiful colours, but in the middle of her body it just kind of changes from blue to this orangey pink. What's that luminescent holographic? There's another word for it, but I've forgotten it. Oh well, it's lost to the winds of time. And I liked the blue hat. I didn't like the stole. I didn't like that, to be honest. It felt a bit tacked on to make it more wintry. It was fine. It was pretty good. I think it could have been a bit more Frozen. I think, honestly, if the gown had just been blue, like, it would have been fine. But I know she admitted it's a dress she already had. And sometimes you have to. You can't afford to buy a whole new wardrobe for Drag Race. You have to try and make things fit. Then we have Crystal Method. And this was great. I got the reference, Mr. Freeze. I watched that film at a very early age, and I don't know if that was a good decision or not, but it is rather homoerotic. I liked when she took it off as well. I think it was a lot more chic, high fashion when she took the sort of coat off. Yeah, I quite liked it. I liked her makeup. I think her lip was back to being a bit bigger because it was a bit more of an out there look. Yes, go Crystal. Gigi good. So, as flawless as Gigi is, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, which is her outfits. Oh, is there a leg coming up? There might be, to get rid of the pins and needles. Okay, her leg's come up. She has to change her outfits, because this wasn't a bad outfit. It was cute. It was well accessorized. It was well executed with like the pink nose in the makeup, and I liked the hair with it. What? This is getting ridiculous. What is on my nose? But it's the same silhouette. It's the same short, puffy skirt she's worn a few times now. It's this, her most original look, unique look she's worn on the runway was her first one, which is with the suit and the latex underneath and the helmet. In fact, all of her outfits from that first episode were quite unique. And then since then, all she's worn on the runway, short dresses. They've all been short. She's worn a lot of low V necklines, and so that's kind of already that. She can't really wear more of those because I'll just be like bored. I mean, she can obviously, she probably will, but I'm now bored of those. She's worn long sleeve short dresses, short sleeve short dresses. I mean, at least you're never going to know what wig she's wearing. She seems to have an endless supply. But, yeah. And the accessory was nice, but it was so oversized, I felt like it was compensating to kind of be like, look, it's Frozen. And as much as I'm not a fan of Dahlia, her ice cream look that she put on social media was actually amazing. And she's lucky Dahlia wasn't on this runway, because if Dahlia had been on this runway, Gigi probably would have been red, because it'd have been like, look at Dahlia, look at this, not acceptable. But the judges loved this. I mean, it was cute, it wasn't bad, but I don't know why they adored this so much. I'm hoping at least soon the judges call it out. I actually love Gigi, she's still my favourite to win. But, I mean, no, I've got to be fair. Heidi, it was like a safe, nice look. It was nice, I liked the fur, I liked the wig on her. I think her makeup is improving, which is a conversation we're going to come back to later. It was nice. Moving on. Jackie Cox. Her probably have my favourite outfit she's worn on the runway so far. I do get the silver, even though it wasn't designed by her, even the silver skirt. I don't know what is wrong with her, but all her materials she's using all look costumey. None of them look high fashion. They all look like costume material, like party store costume material. I'm not sure what's wrong with her. I don't what kind of luck she has. The armoured sort of corset and the things that came up. I don't really get how it was inspired by Elsa's crown, to be perfectly honest. But I liked it. The only thing I didn't like, I didn't mind the wig idea, but I really didn't like that the roots on the wig were like golden rather than the sort of platinum colour the rest of it was. I didn't like that. Other people did. I didn't. But I still liked it. It was still an overall good look. And I kind of am worried that we're not going to get much better from Jackie. But I'm hoping to be proved wrong. Then we had Jada. It was just so, like, not interesting. It wasn't even bad. It wasn't even bad. It was well executed. It looked nice. I liked the hair. She was giving me kind of like a wintry Storm from X-Men. You know, I just wasn't unexpected. Didn't make an impact on me. Jan. I hate to say it. I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I didn't like this. And there's a big reason why. One, the Elsa tear-off wig at the beginning was very clearly not very well applied. And it wasn't because the wig was bad, because I thought the wig looked lovely when she wore it on the tour runway. Because obviously, because she has to like throw it off, she didn't really apply it very well. And I liked the makeup. I thought the wig was fine. I didn't love the wig. I think the blue should have been bigger and a more brighter blue. But my main problem with the outfit was it was wobbly. And I get that outfit in like a hard, like plasticky material would have been impossible to wear and very uncomfortable and a lot more expensive to make. But the sort of silicone-y, it didn't look like ice at all. It didn't even look like melted, like it didn't look like a melted icicle to me. It just didn't look like ice, so therefore it failed the category to me. But I appreciated the reference. I appreciate what she was going for. And I feel bad for her because this episode is like cementing that Jan just isn't going to get any recognition this season. Then we have oh, I don't know why I felt the need to do that. Widow Von Du. I'm very mixed on this look. I didn't mind how it looked. I just hated the huge lifesaver thing she was wearing that was made out of plastic. I didn't mind the face makeup. I didn't mind the idea of it. I also think the dress needs to be more expensive and just more bluey toned. I don't know. I felt like she had this dress made cheap, or she might have even already had it for like a period outfit. And she was like, "I'll do Titanic." Now, Alison's outfit was amazing because most of them are. It's a bit of a shame, but runway wasn't shown, so they seem to have been taking a further step to remove Alison because runway wasn't shown. I mean, again, the dress was lovely, the hat went with it, and then the designer Florence, who seemed to design all of Alison's outfits, it seems. Apparently, haven't seen it, but I did see like an apology for it on their Twitter, so I guess it did happen. Seemed to go on like a thing about how it was unfair and how he was upset and like, I can't believe they're not showing these outfits I've worked so hard on. And like, personally, I think that's a little bit bratty, and he acknowledged it in his apology, like, okay, yeah, I'm not affected, I'm not one of the most affected people by this. Because like, it's not the editor's fault. What do you want them to do? I think it's weird that they've just decided to make this decision, especially on an episode that Alison does well. Like, I guess they couldn't have avoided it for the ball challenge, they'd had to show the outfits. But yeah, I don't know. I think don't like attack Florence or anything, because I get why they felt upset, because these wonderful things that look amazing, they've worked so hard on not getting shown. But I also think Florence was in the wrong for like feeling a certain way about it, because I'm like, well, not wrong for feeling it, but wrong for sort of talking about that on social media in a rather aggressive way, because it's like, well, that feels a bit self-centered considering the whole situation. But you have the top three, which made perfectly deserved, and the bottom three, which was perfectly deserved. It was kind of a shame that the bottom three, the worst three people, were all lined up and all towards the end of the panel. But yeah, deserved. And Crystal being safe deserved, because her runway look saved her, and she was definitely better than Britta and Aiden. Aiden and Britta being the bottom also made sense for the storyline. I don't think it was a storyline thing. I think it was just, oh, this the producers were going, oh, this works out perfectly. And I was kind of getting sick of the Aiden Britta thing. Not on Aiden's part, although I don't support Aiden out of things from their past they've done, because they may have apologised for some things, but there are some things they haven't acknowledged, and I think it's unacceptable. But I was also just like, Britta, I can't steal. I need you to go away so that either Britta goes away so you don't have to talk anymore, or Aiden go away so Britta can stop blaming Aiden and maybe can accept some responsibility, which I'm hoping will happen next episode, because personally, I don't see Britta killing a Madonna challenge. Gigi winning was a surprise. I thought Alison had clutched another one. I thought 6 episodes in, Alison was going to get her 3rd win, and I'm going to be like, Jesus Christ. But no, Gigi has won. So now it's the fact that the order of wins has gone Widow, Jada, Sherry, Gigi. It's just like, Gigi. It's just like, when is anyone else going to get a chance? Like, I mean, next week should be Jan's week. Fingers crossed, touch wood. We have a lip sync to Let It Go, so full moment. So only 7 years after that song had its big moment, are we getting a lip sync to it. And we Snow, which I think the first time they've ever had any kind of a special effect for the lip sync for your life. There must have been, I mean, it's Disney money. So Britta won. Britta won, obviously. Aiden didn't win. Aiden was trying, but didn't win. My one thing is Aiden's mouth is so itty-bitty small, and Britta's mouth is absolutely huge. And I guess she knows it because she made fun of it herself in her Jennifer Holiday thing. But just the way Britta was doing... In S&M, I didn't really notice it. For this song, especially at the beginning, it was a bit more quieter. Her mouth was so big, I just didn't believe the words were coming out of her mouth. I'm like... It was just... It's not even her fault. But, like, no one sings those words with their mouth so wide. It's like Jujubee. Sometimes Jujubee over lip syncs. And it's a bit like, oh... But Aiden was under lip syncing, but then again, Aiden also has a small mouth. Sometimes genetics just isn't in your favour. And then we had... Aiden went home, which I guess was unsatisfying for the storyline, because like Aiden was definitely the one in the right. And I'll get into next week about British bullshit about loving Aiden, blah, 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 kumbaya, my lord. But, yeah. Went home, that was the end of it. We've now got 9 girls left, 8, because one is, no matter what happens, one is not going to be winning. And the season's going by quite quickly, I feel. In like a good way. I felt like season 11 was going so slowly. I felt like every week I was like, Jesus, we're only 4 episodes in. Obviously I didn't say that every week, because not every week we're 4 episodes in, but you know what I mean. Untucked, the judges came back again. I'm tired of the judges coming back thing. It's boring. I think, was it Lady Gaga the first one who did that? Or like one of the first? And then after that, it just became a thing that everyone does. Everyone this season has done it, except for Olivia Munn. It's getting ridiculous. Did they do it last week? Who was the guest judge last week? Actually, no, Normani didn't do it. I don't know, it's weird. So, in Untucked, the safe girls go back, not a lot happens there. But once everyone's back, Widow and Jada kind of mainly are the ones you hear standing up to everyone going like, well, just because you prepare for Snatch doesn't mean you're going to win it. And then Sherry and Jackie are like, well, you should know, blah, 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 blah. And this is where Jackie, I'm like, I can't deal with a condescending attitude anymore. Jackie sounds like she's trying to be like, the mediator, blah, 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 blah. And she's trying not to hurt anyone's feelings. But she does in such a condescending, like, if that hurt your feelings, I'm sorry. If that hurt your feelings, I'm sorry, is not an apology. An apology is, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said it, I wasn't thinking about your feelings, I was, and I wasn't really thinking of other people's perspective. Saying, I'm sorry that you got your feelings hurt, that doesn't seem like an apology to me. And, like, Sherry already can be condescending. I feel like Sherry, when it comes to the drama, just jumps from side to side. Like, Sherry was one of the people mainly the people ragging on Aiden back in episode 3. And then here, when once again, it gets brought up about Aiden not doing enough, and it's like, boring. Britta mentions coming from New York, and Sherry actually does something sensible, and I was like, well, you can't ride on coming from New York. And then Britta's like, no, we're all big queens. I hope, no, though, because, like, Britta must be delusional, because all you've been saying all you've been saying for almost half the season now is, I'm from New York, I went into the year, I'm from New York, I'm from blah, 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 blah. No one cares from New York. Shut up. Shut up. Also, it's the New York queens that are the ones that are always, they seem to have, I'm gonna say it, at least this season, all the New York queens are the ones who have this sort of like holier than thou attitude. Britta won't leave the fact that she's from New York alone. Gigi showed a kind of less likable side to her this week with Heidi. I'll get to that in a minute. Sherry was also picking on Aiden. Jackie has this condescending, well, you should have known it was coming, blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to be like, mediate and defend people's actions, blah, 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 which I don't like. Jan doesn't really. I mean, although Jan was kind of helping hype Britta up last week, but Jan's funny. And then Nikki is one of the people joining in against Aiden that time. So I feel like the New York scene inflates egos because they're also ones like, New York has the best queens in the world. Fact. And it's like, okay, that's funny. It's funny when Bob says it and then Bob wins, actually like putting the proof in the pudding. But when Britta says it and then has proceeded to do underwhelming this whole season, it's just like, are they though? I mean, to be fair though, then Sherry and Gigi are currently dominating the competition. They are from New York, so they, there are points to be made. But yeah, so what I was going to mention, Gigi basically points outside week after week. People said, you need to improve your makeup, and you're the only person, or like Crystal's the only person who's actually working to improve herself from the judges' critiques. And that was just a full-on lie because she's only been asked about her makeup once, which was on the first week. And I think I've seen improvement, and I think Heidi's very right to be in her feelings and go, that's a smack in the face because you've just told me over these last 4 episodes now, you haven't seen an improvement in my makeup when I am trying. And also, you can't learn makeup in a week or two. You can't do that. She can't improve that much. Crystal changed her makeup. She didn't improve it. Heidi, it's a game if she has to improve her makeup skills. You can't do that on the spot. She's trying her best, and I think it did come off as Gigi almost not preying on Heidi. Like, I don't think Gigi was going after her deliberately, but it felt mean-spirited. It felt unnecessary. And it didn't feel helpful or constructive. It felt needlessly pointing out what someone else is doing wrong, and not in a constructive way. It's just going, well, I don't think you're improving this at all. And also not being completely honest with you, or exaggerating the fact to make your statement sound more justified. And then later, just before the judges came in, Heidi went off and was like, and then Gigi followed her and was like, I want me to talk about this girl later because I don't want you to feel this way. But then that's when the judges came back, so that got interrupted. And obviously they reconvene. We'll talk about that next week. The judges do a drive-by. Like, they come in, there's a fight. Oh, reporting live, there's been a fight. Have like a little bit of wisdom. Eye of the tiger, don't know what that means. And then they go off. This also the Untucked portion actually dedicated to the backstage felt really short. I felt like it really early on. Obviously not early on, but earlier than normal, they cut to them doing the lip sync and Aiden's goodbye and everything. So I don't know. I think this is turning out to be a great season. I'm loving the drama. The drama isn't feeling forced. I think everything feels very natural for the first time in a couple seasons. I think this season is helped by not following straight after an All Stars. Because I was a bit more thirsty for Drag Race. I wasn't feeling like, we've already had 10 weeks of it. So yeah, enjoying this season. We're almost halfway through, actually. There's 14 episodes, I'm assuming, like there usually is. Which, again, as I've said, means there will be, at some point, a double Shantae. Right, I'm gonna go now, but I've literally been filming this for 55 minutes. I think this is my longest review I've ever filmed, so great. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, like, subscribe. If you didn't, bye.